hear me out. Your camera is probably better than you are. Let me explain. As photographers, our photos are based off their content, not what sensor they were shot on. Like, I'm not saying that there's no benefit to a better camera or a bigger sensor. I'm just saying you probably don't need it. I know I sound pretty blunt, a little harsh, and that's kind of going to be the general vibe of this video. But your camera is the last thing you need to upgrade if you really want to up your photography game. For the street photographers here, we're no Henri Cartier-Bresson, we're no Bruce Gilden, so let's not walk around thinking that an X Pro 3 is gonna make us respected photojournalists. And for commercial photographers, phase isn't what's gonna make the agency repping Frito-Lay come and book with us. And even event photographers, wedding guys, well, going full frame is heavier, it's expensive, and honestly, nobody on Instagram really can even tell. Let's be real. I really do think that most of us are spending way too much money on cameras and technical gear, when really we should just be putting that extra money into what really makes our images better. I just picked up this X-H1 by Fuji, and yeah, I know, there's an X-H2, and even the widely popular X-H2s right now, which for some reason the shops are even having a hard time keeping in stock. Like, damn, what is with all this Fuji hype? I think it would have been an honest deterrent for me if I knew about all this Fuji hype when I was first getting into Fuji systems. One thing that this X-H1 came with that the X-H2s didn't is an extra $2,100 cash in my pocket. So was it the right choice? Is it gonna bring in more work or pay for itself, as I'm saying? Let's take the spec sheets, combine my limited but still 10-year shooting experience, and figure out what was the better choice, the X-H2s or the X-H1 and $2 grand. I don't want to lead you all to believe that buying an older camera is the exact same thing as a new one, and you'll find absolutely no difference in spending more money. However, that doesn't mean that the end result is going to look any different. I want to weigh out what you need to spend on every single piece of gear because there's so much more gear to buy. The huge majority of new features I feel like that come out on newer cameras are video focused. But if you're a photographer and you're trying to create a story for you or for your clients or your cats, you don't need the newest features. You're not shooting anything that hasn't been done decades ago. Hopefully it's from a different perspective, but the technical side of photography is kind of unchanged. Let's take the X-H1 and the X-H2s, and we'll compare what 4 years of innovation at Fuji really looks like between two separate iterations, even with one in the middle. To go from here to there, and what do we get from it? I think the most notable difference for photo and video would probably be the BSI sensor. It's got better low light performance if you're into that sort of thing, but to be honest, I haven't really shot anything past base ISO in a very long time. Also, it's got the stacked CMOS sensor, which has promised faster autofocus and better rolling shutter performance for video. It might be useful for my skating stuff, but honestly, I just do that stuff for fun anyway. But comparing two cameras as if both can achieve the same result really feels like not telling the whole story. It's not like one is the only one that works and the other is absolute garbage. Okay, yeah, so the new camera can do some technical things that the old one can't, like 4K 60 instead of 30. But is that the only feature you need for all of your videos all of the time? Let's pretend your client can even tell the difference from your phone shooting 4K 60. Can you use a full HD clip for that one part of the slow-mo that you want? All right, what about the sensor having an extra 100 focus points?
I shoot events. I want my autofocus to be instant.
Sure, I hear you. But does that mean you're gonna miss every single shot now? Are you so dependent on technology to create your art? And even if you are, what were the event shooters in 2018 doing? What were the wildlife shooters doing in 2018? Were they also missing every single shot because the AF was 0.001 seconds slower? It's human nature to compare and to look over the fence, but it's silly to me how if it's not the best, it's the absolute worst. We've got Ricky Bobby mentality about our gear. What else you got? Keep it going, keep it going. What about anything else that this camera can do? I guess this is 3.5mm jack that the other one doesn't. But if you're serious about video, you're probably gonna have an external recorder so that you can plug your 3.5 in anyway. And if you're strictly a photographer, you're looking at this hole like, why is there an extra hole in my camera? I'm shooting this way, yeah, I'm going that way, by all means. Yeah, this one's mostly for show. Now, what about the X-H1 and all of the cash left over? What does it bring that the X-H2s won't? $2,000 can fund a short film or two to build your portfolio. $2,000 can tell stories much more than shooting 4K 60. And $2,000 can hire assistants that are better at what they are than you are, and you can learn hands-on about editing, styling, or building. You can buy props, backgrounds, outfits, lenses, grip, anything that's gonna further push your creativity than literally the exact same thing with a bigger price tag. I would say that the majority of my own personal portfolio probably costs a couple $100 at most. It's colored paper and some sweets. And that body of work alone brings in so much more to my career than an identical camera that had an extra 2 megapixels. Think about where your money's going and how much power it has in those different avenues. You're gonna end up spending it anyway. Just where do you want to spend it? How about that one thing that money buys more than anything else? Time. I don't believe in this mentality of, oh, the camera will pay for itself. I feel like when I hear those arguments, I'm also hearing a business that's not really taking into account how much it really costs to run a business. You don't profit $1,000 when you book a $1,000 shoot. I hope we all make and have enough money to walk into a camera shop and leave with 2 GFXs and pay for them in a month's worth of work. But that's usually not the case. I think we just find the fact that cameras cost $5,000 now, and we're like, oh, okay, that's what I need to be a professional. I think the best of my work, so I need the best camera. But again, there's no reason that a full-frame camera from 10 years ago can't tell the same story as a brand new camera at a tenth of the price. And speaking of, what about the resale? I got this Xh1 for like $600, and in all honesty, I'll probably just run it till it dies. But I'm sure I can resell it in a couple years, and it wouldn't lose more than half of its value. But the Xh2s is $3,100 right now, and I'm sure that if I sold that in a couple years, it's gonna lose way more than half of its value. Does that mean that in 2025, all of today's advertising goes out the window because marginally newer tech has come out? Come on. There's entire departments of people who study customer behavior, and they create ads and marketing for you to feel less than, to feel unworthy without the newest and latest and greatest. I know, I work in advertising, and I'm telling you not to believe in advertising. But just don't be that guy. Believe in your work and believe in your ideas. Believe that you can take any camera and create emotionally provocative art. Ooh, big words for a script there. Who are you, the photographer or the camera? Was this Xh1 worth getting in 2023? Will my work benefit from this 5-year-old camera, or is it just another mistake? I guess we'll find out in the long run, but for the first 2 months, I've gotten to shoot a bunch and haven't had to learn a new menu system or get a bunch of adapters for a new setup. The Fuji ecosystem, as you will, may not be perfect, but I do love that you can go from one camera to the next without skipping a beat. And for video specifically, look at this grip. The grip on this Xh1 is beefy. It feels like a real grip again. I guess I've been shooting with the Expo 3 for so long, and though I absolutely love how she looks and feels, if you're shooting handheld video like I am, this grip really does make a huge difference, and it goes a long way. Look, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter what you're shooting on. Just go out and shoot it. And don't forget, guys, this is just my opinion. I hope you have a different one. See you in the next one, guys. Peace.